Ambassador Zelthak's four eyes bulged as the transport ship descended through the thick atmosphere of the human homeworld. The gravity readings on his console made his chitinous exoskeleton crack with stress, 3 times standard galactic gravity. 3 times, and yet, impossibly, the planet teemed with life. "This is madness," he whispered into his translator, watching the endless blue ocean stretch beyond the horizon. His own world, Kepler-7, was a modest rock barely larger than what humans called their moon, yet it housed his entire civilization in comfortable underground cities. This was a monster of a planet. The human pilot, Commander Sarah Chen, glanced back with what his species database identified as an amused expression. Her bipedal form moved, with casual ease despite the crushing gravity that would have flattened most sentient species. "First time on Earth, Ambassador?" she asked, her voice carrying an unsettling cheerfulness. "Wait until you see the mountain ranges." Mountains. Zelthak's translator struggled with the concept. His people had built small hills for religious ceremonies, but the geological formations he glimpsed through the viewport defied comprehension. Massive stone structures thrust kilometers into the sky, their peaks lost in white crystalline formations his database identified as snow. "How?" he managed to rasp. "How do your people traverse such immensity?" Commander Chen laughed, a sound that somehow conveyed both warmth and a hint of something predatory. "We walk. We climb. We run. We've been doing it for about 200,000 years. Give or take." The ship touched down at what humans called Denver Spaceport, and Zelthak immediately felt the crushing weight of this world pressing down on his travel suit's support systems. The atmospheric readings showed oxygen levels that would be toxic to most species, mixed with nitrogen in proportions that should have created violent weather patterns. Yet humans breathed it as naturally as his people breathed the carefully filtered gases of their underground cities. His first meeting with the human delegation took place in something called a conference room located on the 37th floor of a towering structure, 37 levels above the ground. The mere thought of it made his nervous system flutter. On Kepler-7, their deepest excavations barely reached 7 levels below surface. Ambassador Zelthak greeted the human leader, Dr. Marcus Webb. The man stood nearly 2 meters tall, his frame somehow supporting itself against the planetary gravity with what appeared to be organic muscle and bone. No mechanical assistance, no gravity negation fields, just biology. "We're honored to welcome you to Earth," Dr. Webb continued, gesturing toward a transparent wall that revealed the sprawling human city below. "I understand this is your first visit to a high-gravity world." Zelthak's primary eyes focused on the view, while his secondary eyes monitored his life support readings. The city stretched to the horizon, filled with millions of humans moving about their daily existence. Vehicles traveled on elevated roadways suspended impossible distances above the ground. Humans walked casually along pathways that would have been death traps on any civilized world. "Your people," Zelthak began, his voice modulator struggling to convey his bewilderment. "They live their entire lives under this gravitational stress?" "Stress?" Dr. Webb's eyebrows raised. "Oh, you mean gravity? We don't really think about it. Earth gravity is just normal for us, normal." The word buzzed through Zelthak's translator like a malfunctioning circuit. He had studied the human species for cycles before this diplomatic mission, but the theoretical knowledge hadn't prepared him for the reality. These beings had evolved in conditions that would crush most galactic species, yet they thrived. "Your children," he pressed, "how do they survive their developmental phases in such conditions?" "Well, human babies are pretty fragile when they're born," Commander Chen interjected, joining the conversation. "But they adapt quickly. By the time they're walking, they're already strong enough to climb trees, run across rough terrain, jump from heights that would injure adults of most species." Trees. Zelthak had seen the massive organic structures from orbit, towering giants that somehow grew upward against the relentless gravitational pull. The humans spoke of climbing them as though it were child's play. Dr. Webb activated a holographic display showing various human settlements across their world. "We've established cities at sea level, in mountain ranges 8 kilometers above sea level, in desert regions, Arctic zones, tropical forests, and even on floating platforms in the ocean. Earth's diversity taught us adaptability." The images flashed by. Humans scaling vertical rock faces with primitive equipment, crossing vast ice sheets on foot, diving to crushing depths in their oceans without life support, running across landscapes that stretched beyond visual range. Each activity would have been an impossible feat of engineering for Zelthak's people, requiring specialized equipment and extensive support systems. For humans, they were recreational activities. But how did your species develop such resilience? Zelthak asked. Dr. Webb's expression grew thoughtful. Our planet didn't give us a choice. Earth has always been challenging. Massive weather systems, seismic activity, predatory creatures, climate variations that span from frozen wastelands to boiling deserts. We evolved to endure, to adapt, to overcome. Those who didn't survive to pass on their genes. The casual way he discussed extinction-level challenges made Zelthak's exoskeleton rattle. Your world tried to kill you, so you became unkillable. That's one way to put it, Commander Chen grinned. Earth made us tough. When we finally developed space travel and met other species, we discovered that what we considered normal living conditions were extreme survival scenarios for most galactic civilizations. As if to demonstrate her point, a young human maintenance worker entered the room, carrying equipment that would have required mechanical lifting assistance on most worlds. She moved with fluid grace, completely unaware that she was performing feats of strength that would impress professional athletes from dozens of other species. This is why, Dr. Webb continued, human explorers have been able to establish colonies on worlds that other species consider uninhabitable. High gravity, extreme temperatures, dangerous atmospheres, to us they're just interesting variations on home. Zelthak's mind reeled as he processed the implications. The galactic community had wondered why humans seemed so eager to explore hostile environments, why they volunteered for the most dangerous survey missions, why they thrived in conditions that broke other species. Now he understood they weren't brave. They weren't reckless. They were simply human. As the meeting concluded and Zelthak prepared for his return journey to the safety of his small, manageable world, he found himself looking at humanity with a mixture of awe and terror. These beings had been forged in a crucible that would have destroyed most species before they achieved sentience. And now they were loose in the galaxy. Commander Chen escorted him back to the transport, moving with that same casual confidence that defied physics. Ambassador, she said as they reached the ship, I hope your visit has been enlightening. Zelthak gazed one final time at the impossible world around them. The towering structures, the endless horizons, the crushing gravity that humans navigated as easily as breathing. Indeed, he whispered, most enlightening. As his ship lifted away from Earth, Zelthak began composing his report to the Galactic Council. How could he explain that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their intelligence, but simply their ability to call the impossible home? How do humans survive on a world this big? The answer, he realized, was simple. They didn't just survive it, they conquered it.